Morning rises quicker than ever before. The sun's just peeking above the horizon, and the birds are already up and about, chanting their beautiful melody. I'd mistake this for peace if it wasn't for the giant gaping hole burned inside me. Elira's gone, vanished, after she dumped all that information on me last night, and even worse, the goddess hasn't talked to me since. But even so, I can't help thinking that freeing the gods is going to be a mistake. For so long, they've been painted as monsters, beasts locked away in Tenebris for a reason. But she's right. Urindrail's power was born from the god of darkness himself, and if I fail to wake the Origin Lords, we'll all be gone. I'll be gone. Riven will be gone. And for some reason, that thought hurts more than anything else. I hop down from the tree, boots crunching against the forest floor. A faint trickle carries in the wind, the soft sound of moving water, and my body instinctively moves toward it. I haven't drunk any water since yesterday, and my limbs ache with fatigue. Closing my eyes and listening to the sound, I move quietly through the forest, pushing through bushes until I reach it. Gods, it's beautiful. The stream is clearer than I expected. Cold water rushes over smooth stones, catching the light in thin silver strands. I kneel by the edge, cupping the water in my hands. It stings my cracked lips, but gods, it feels good. I drink until the tightness in my throat fades, then splash cold handfuls across my face. Blood, dirt, whatever's been clinging to me since the last trial, I let it fall away. My hair's a knotted mess, strands clinging to my skin. I sit back on my heels and start pulling it into a braid, working fast. Every twist of my fingers feels like a tether, like I'm pulling myself back together, strand by strand. And when I'm finally done, I fill up the little bottle that Riven got from the orb and attach it at my hip, hiding it inside my cloak. Just as I'm fastening the bottle in place, something shifts. The wind stops. Not like it slows, not like it fades. It stops. Leaves hang unnaturally still. The birds go silent. Even the water seems quieter, like it's holding its breath. And that's when I feel it. A breeze brushes the back of my neck. But then a voice cuts through the silence. Well, it says, smooth as frost, look who's awake. I spin, dagger out. Isolde stands a few feet away, bathed in early light, her long blonde braid draped over one shoulder, ice blue eyes glinting with something between challenge and amusement. She tilts her head slightly, as if I'm a puzzle she's already solved. Didn't take you for a tree sleeper, she adds, looking upwards. Didn't take you for an ambush rat, I shoot back, blade raised. What do you want? You should be thanking me for my mercy. She starts circling around me. I notice she hasn't pulled out a weapon, so it means she's relying on her power to end me. But even so, I need to be careful. She could be on my team, and I don't want to face the consequences of what happens if I kill her. I could have killed you in your sleep, but I waited for you to wake up. I don't need your mercy, Isolde. You need mine. And before I can do anything, the wind slams into me before I even see it. I'm hurled off my feet, my back crashing against a tree. The air's knocked from my lungs in one brutal punch, and by the time I'm scrambling to breathe, She's already sending another gust slicing toward my face. I duck barely. It clips my shoulder, slicing through fabric and skin. I hiss. Isolde steps forward, elegant, unhurried. Don't make this harder than it has to be, Syerin. I wasn't planning on it, I mutter, and lunge. But she's quicker. Another burst of air whips beneath my feet and knocks me off balance. I crash into the ground, roll, and barely manage to fling a dagger before the next blast comes. She sidesteps it effortlessly. Cute. I snarl, blood now trickling down my arm, my chest tight with frustration. She's keeping distance, smart. She knows if I get close, she's done. But distance doesn't help you when someone's unpredictable. I bolt toward her. She lifts her hand again. Too late. I twist last second, diving low, letting the wind whip over me instead of through me, and slam into her hard enough to knock her back. She gasps, surprised. I grab her arm, wrenching her forward, spinning her around and pinning her wrist behind her back with a vicious twist. She struggles, but not well. I can already feel her breath catching, body faltering. I have more experience dealing with people like you than you do. I grit out, pressing her down. All that air magic doesn't mean shit when your neck's one twist away from snapping. But she doesn't fight back. Which is when something inside me stutters. Why isn't she fighting? With a scowl, I shove her forward and yank the collar of her shirt aside. And there it is. The glint of yellow, the same tag as mine. Rage slams into my gut like fire. You're on my team. Isolde straightens, brushing a hand down her front like I didn't just toss her like a rag doll. Surprise. I stare at her, chest heaving. You could have killed me, which could have killed us both. But I didn't. Her lips curl. Just because you're on my team doesn't mean I can't inflict pain. As long as my hands don't touch you, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That smile, that smug little tilt of her chin, snaps something in me. I step forward, and before she can move, I grab her face and drag my dagger clean across her cheek. Not deep enough to kill, but deep enough to leave a mark. Blood wells instantly, crimson against pale skin. Her smile fades. You'll remember that, I whisper, voice low and venom-laced. Next time you want to play games with me. Then I turn and walk. I don't look back. I don't need to. I hear the shift in air before her scream leaves her throat. The wind surges again, louder, angrier. This time it doesn't knock me back, it lifts me. My body slams hard into a tree, ribs cracking against bark. I bite down on the pain, shove off it, but Isolde is already in the air now, wind twisting around her like a storm given form. Her hands are outstretched. Her cheek bleeds down her jawline. You bitch, she spits. You think you're untouchable, because they looked at you, because Riven Knox looked at you. My blood boils. She throws her hand forward. The wind howls. And then, I let go. Something inside me splits clean down the center. I stop bracing, stop holding back. My hands lift, not by choice, not exactly. My body moves like it's not mine, like it belonged to someone else. Red veins ripple down my arm and up my neck until my eyes glow a blood red. Isolde's blast falters midair. The wind dies. Her eyes widen. She tries to move, tries to breathe. But she can't. Her fingers clutch at her chest, mouth opening in a silent scream. Her body jerks once, then goes rigid. I watch, still as stone, as she sinks to her knees. I whisper, don't make this harder than it has to be. Her blood is still inside her, but it doesn't move, not one drop. I've stopped it. Her lips part, trembling, eyes wild with panic. She tries to crawl forward. Her hand reaches for me, shaking. I step forward, crouch in front of her, tilt my head slightly. You think I wanted him to look at me? My voice is a razor. Riven knocks burned through my life like wildfire and left only ash. He touched me like I was glass and then shattered me anyway. Isolde's body trembles violently. You want to prove you're stronger than me? My hand brushes her throat. Then pick a different battlefield. Because I've already been broken, torn apart, left with nothing but ghosts and scars, and I survived. A flick of my fingers. Air floods her lungs again. She collapses forward, coughing, choking, face pale with terror and disbelief. I straighten slowly, eyes still glowing faint gold. You ever try that again, and I'll make sure you don't wake up next time. I walk away. This time, she doesn't follow. My heart still pounding as I disappear between the trees. Every step feels like a drumbeat in my ribs, too loud, too fast, like my body's trying to make sense of what just happened. That power. That wasn't just me. It was, but it wasn't. The moment I let go, it took over like it was waiting, watching, breathing beneath my skin, like the blood inside me had its own will, its own hunger. And now that I've used it, I don't know if I'll be able to cage it again. Branches claw at my arms as I move faster, needing distance, from Isolde, from the guilt creeping in behind my anger, and from the raw heat curling in my veins. Because that felt good. Too good. I should be scared of that. But all I can think about is how easy it was. A memory crashes in without warning. Riven, brushing a thumb against my cheek, murmuring, "You don't have to be a weapon." Maybe not. But sometimes, a weapon's all I know how to be. I break through the edge of the trees and find myself staring at the ruins again. Ancient pillars jutting from the moss, shattered statues cloaked in ivy, everything silent, still. I remember what Alira said, her voice sharp in the dark. You have to find the Ember Gate. If you can unlock it, the Blood Goddess will come to you. You're making a mistake. Oh, so now you want to talk to me. You use my power and dare to give me attitude, Marker. You forget that I can still harm you. I glance down at my hand. The red veins are gone now, the gold light in my eyes faded. But I still feel it, like something watching from just behind the curtain of my skin, waiting for me to open the door. A breeze stirs behind me. But this one's natural. It rustles the leaves, carries the distant call of a hawk, no threat in it, just the reminder that time is moving. So I do too. Groaning, I use my dagger to slash through the trees. So far I know that Isolde is on my team and that Alira, Vise, and Riven are on the other. Jin True's dead. And judging by the dead body of Isolde's friend, Alice that is currently lying in front of me, there's not much competition left. You poor thing. I say crouching down beside the body. Alice's eyes are wide open, glassy. Whatever got to her didn't leave much behind. Her throat's torn open in a jagged mess of red, soaked all the way through her collar. I don't flinch. I've seen worse. But the way her hands curled, fingers reaching towards something, like she was begging, that gets under my skin. I reach out, gently close her eyes. Hope wherever you ended up, it's better than this. You were always too good for Isolde. There's movement behind me, just a breath, but enough. I'm already rolling before the blade hits where I was crouched. Steel scrapes stone. A shadow lunges from the trees. I draw both daggers this time. My attacker doesn't say a word. Just charges again, face masked, movements fluid, almost too fluid. Trained. Fast. I parry, twisting aside, catch a glimpse of a dark mark on their wrist, blue, faintly glowing. It's not one of mine. I duck under a swing, slash across their ribs. They grunt, stagger back. I take the opportunity to slam my boot into their chest and send them crashing into a pillar. It cracks. Moss flakes down like ash. You really want to test me today. I snarl. But they're already back on their feet. That's when I hear the click. The trap. My breath hitches, but it's too late. The vines around the clearing whip upward, glowing with green sigils. My body freezes. Not from fear. Literally. Paralysis spell. Oh shit. I can't move. My attacker steps closer, now slow, confident. They tilt their head. The mask shifts, sliding back. And I blink. Vera. She smiles. It's all teeth. Hello, Syerin. Didn't realize rats wore silk now. I grit, struggling against the bind. Vera was one of the fail that got selected to compete. I'd done my background checks on her, and turns out she's in the poisons business. Oh, we do, when we're clever enough to slink out of the sewers and crawl into the palace. Her eyes flick to Alice's body. Shame about her. She begged me to spare her. Swore she'd trade you for her life. My lips curl. So what, you killed her because she was weak? No, she says, voice low. I killed her because she hesitated. She takes a step closer, and weakness spreads like rot. She holds up a vial of green liquid. My fingers twitch, almost free, almost. And you, she says, kneeling in front of me, you've got rot in you too. That prince, Riven, he's the mold. He softened you. I watched you, you know, in the arena. You were lethal until he showed up. My heart hammers. But don't worry. She leans closer. I'm going to kill him too. That's when the blood moves. Not hers. It's mine. The mark pulses. My spine arches. Power lashes up my arms like fire in my veins. The vines snap. The sigils shatter like glass. Vera doesn't even have time to scream. My hand grips her throat and slams her into the ground, so hard the moss beneath her cracks. You don't get to say his name. Her fingers claw at my wrist. She's gasping, choking. I lean in, eyes glowing red again. I'm not soft, I whisper. I'm not rotting. I lift my dagger to her throat and I watch in cruel satisfaction as her eyes go wide. But she makes no move to stop me. You're not afraid. Living in the wastes showed me there is nothing out there that could be worse. I drag the tip of my blade down her neck, between her breasts right when I reach her heart. You said rot spreads. A slow, wicked smile tugs at my lips. Let's see how your heart handles a little purge. And then I drive the blade in, straight through it. Her body jerks once, then stills. I don't blink, don't breathe. I just watch her eyes go slack, mouth parting in a final, useless gasp. Her blood seeps into the moss, and the forest around us holds its breath. When I finally pull the blade free, I whisper, next time someone thinks of using my heart against me, they'd better remember I know exactly where to stab theirs. And I leave her body right where it belongs. In the dirt. Vera's body is limp on the ground, eyes still wide in disbelief. The green liquid vial slips from her hand, rolling away into the moss. I don't watch it. I can't. Instead, I focus on the blood mine and hers spreading, staining the earth beneath us. I stand slowly, tossing Vera's lifeless body aside like she weighs nothing. Her presence doesn't even register in my mind anymore. Just a casualty of this damned competition. But even so, she had me. I can hear her last words echoing in my head. He softened you. I clench my jaw, trying to push the thought away. But I know that she's right. Riven did soften me. But the truth is, I don't know if I hate him for it or crave it more. I wipe the blood off my dagger, not caring that it's smeared across my hand, not caring about the mark still burning under my skin. Because I no longer am scared. Everything feels wrong. It's like I'm not myself anymore. I can feel the powers seeping through my blood, my emotions being taken over, my body being taken over. That's because it is. How much longer do we have? She's going to open it. The gate will open and we will be free. The curse on Tenebris will break and the lands will be infested with all sorts of demons. You don't have much time. I'd hurry if I was you. The ground under me cracks as I exhale, heat rippling out like a shockwave. The competitor in front of me, bigger, older, with a jagged scar down his chin, grins like he thinks this is going to be easy. Poor bastard. He lunges. I don't even move. The ground does it for me. A spear of molten stone shoots up from the dirt beneath him, straight through his chest. His smile dies with him, mouth frozen open in a silent scream as the heat cauterizes the wound before blood can even spill. He twitches once, drops. Dead. I stand over him, barely breathing hard. That's how fast it happens now. That's how much control I don't have. A sound. A snap of a twig, whisper of breath. I twist, arm lifting, elemental fire already surging to my fingertips. Kale, no. Too late. A wave of blazing heat blasts from my hand, tearing through the trees like a wildfire unchained. The forest screams with it, leaves shriveling, bark blackening, air turning to ash. Then, a body is flung back, crashing into a tree with a gut-wrenching crack. My heart stops. Brown hair, hazel eyes, no. Zlurel. I run. The fire dies instantly. My boots slam into charred earth as I sprint across the clearing, stumbling over roots and broken ground. She's crumpled at the base of the tree, half slumped sideways, her cloak still smoking. Zluril, no. I drop to my knees beside her, hands shaking. There's blood at the corner of her mouth. Her eyes are open, dazed. Burn marks lace across her arms, her shoulder, singed into the leather of her tunic. I didn't know, I thought gods, I thought you were one of them, I whisper, reaching for her. Please, just, are you okay? Say something, please. My fingers touch her skin. And we both scream. The sound rips from our throats at the exact same time. Pure guttural agony that slices the air open. My body convulses, every nerve lit on fire. She arches up from the ground, spasming beneath my hands as a pulse of raw punishment magic explodes between us. I can't let go, neither can she. We're locked, flesh to flesh, soul to soul, as the punishment carves its way through our bones. The hunt's rules. No direct contact between allies. It doesn't just hurt, it destroys. The agony rips through us like glass dragging through skin. I can feel her pain like it's mine. Her scream is my scream. Her blood is on my hands. When it finally ends, I'm lying half-sprawled on the dirt, gasping, trembling. Luril's beside me, curled in on herself, lips bitten through, eyes glassy with shock. Gods, I whisper hoarsely, trying to move. I didn't mean to. Don't, she breathes, barely audible. Don't touch me again. I nod, swallowing down the guilt. My hands are still shaking. Not from the magic, not just. From the fact that I almost killed her. Not because she was the enemy, but because I forgot she wasn't. Gritting my teeth together, I turn around, rolling onto my back. The trees swish in the gentle breeze, the sky beginning to darken. Dirt stains the side of my face, and when I turn to look at Luril, she's just staring up at the sky, marks from my fire scarring her face. We need to go, I whisper. It'll be safer after we find somewhere to rest. She doesn't move. For a long, hollow second, I think maybe she won't. That maybe I've done too much, pushed too far, and this is the part where she tells me to finish the job. But then, slowly, she blinks and pushes herself upright with a wince, her breath hitching like every bone in her body's shattered glass. We can't stay here, she mutters hoarsely. If anyone saw that, they'll know. I know, my voice is flat, dead. That's why we need to move. The taste of smoke still clings to my tongue. I stand, slower this time, forcing the tremble out of my legs. My hands clench into fists at my sides, still itching to reach for her. But I don't. I can't. Not again. Luril staggers to her feet beside me, swaying once before steadying herself. Her face is pale beneath the soot and blood, and I can see the effort it takes her just to stay upright. Guilt crawls through me like rot. I didn't know it was you. The words slip out before I can stop them. I know, she says, voice barely a whisper. But it doesn't sound like forgiveness. It sounds like surrender. I made you a promise, Cale, and I intend to follow it through. I give her a stiff nod, relieved that she hasn't turned on me yet. I know she doesn't like helping the people that have turned her entire life to ruin. We don't speak as we move. Through the blackened woods, past the scorched earth and the corpse I left behind. Every step crunches over ash. Every breath is too loud. The mark of what I've done is carved into everything around us, and worst of all, into her. Into us. By the time we find cover, a low outcrop of rock half hidden in a hollow, I'm ready to collapse. My powers simmer just under my skin, volatile and barely caged. Luril sinks to the ground, hugging her knees, and I crouch a few paces away, putting the distance between us that the hunt demands. That she demands. For a while, we just sit there, silence stretching between us like a blade. I stare at the burns lacing her arms. My fault. Next time, I murmur, don't sneak up on me. Her head lifts slowly. Next time, she says, don't lose control. And there it is, the truth I can't run from. The one she saw today, more clearly than anyone ever has. I am not in control. Not of my powers. Not of my mind. Not even of me. The sun just dips below the horizon, and before I know it, twilight and darkness washes over the once light skies. Stars are scattered across the expanse like freckles, and a chilly breeze picks up. We decide to fall asleep in shifts, or maybe we don't. Maybe we just sit with our eyes closed, pretending like it matters. I'm not sure when exhaustion overtakes me. Somewhere between the ache in my bones and the heat crawling under my skin, I stop fighting it. The last thing I see before my eyes shut is Luril, curled on her side, face half lit by moonlight, burned but breathing. I don't know how long I'm out, but I wake to the sound of her scream. My body snaps upright, a jolt tearing through my spine. The fire flares instantly in my veins, hot, angry, alive. I see her before I even register that I've moved. She's on her knees, a hand twisted behind her back, a blade pressed to her throat. And the one holding it, he's not a competitor. I can recognize that almost instantly from his pure black attire and poor armor. He's human and fail at that. Dust-covered clothes, an insignia stitched to his collar, red thread slashed through with black. I've seen that logo. It's all over Father's study. They call themselves the Undercoven, some sort of resistance. He must have followed us, must have been waiting for the right moment. And he chose her. Let her go, I snarl, already stepping forward. The ground under my boots rumbles with the threat I don't bother hiding. My hands are trembling, not from fear, from fury, from the heat crawling up my spine, begging to be unleashed. He grins. His face is weathered, lined. Too young for that many scars. You're Cale, right, he says, the Fireborn. They weren't lying about you. Let her go. Not until I get what I came for. He presses the blade harder to her throat. A thin line of red beads at the edge. You've seen the gate. I know you have. I want it. Tell me how to open it, and maybe I'll let your girl breathe another minute. I don't respond. I just move. The earth beneath him erupts, sharp rocks jutting upward, forcing him to stumble back just far enough for Lurel to rip herself free. She dives to the side, hitting the ground hard, and I lunge forward, flame roaring through my fists as I meet him head-on. He's faster than I expect. He ducks, slashes, cuts through the air, and nearly catches my side. I twist, roll, and catch him with a burst of heat that sends him staggering backward, screaming as the fire eats into his jacket. You think you're a god. He spits, swinging wildly. You're a freak, just a freak with too much power. My fist collides with his jaw, silencing him mid-sentence. He hits the ground, hard, doesn't move. But I don't stop. I step toward him, flames licking my palms, ready to end it before he gets up again. Then I hear it, a choked sound. Cale. Lurel's voice. I turn just in time to see her sway, then collapse. Blood, so much of it. Soaking her tunic, her hand pressed to her side, her face twisted in pain. No, 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 I'm beside her before I can breathe, catching her as she crumples, lowering her gently to the ground. Her eyes flutter open, barely. Blade, she gasps, caught me when I ran. I look down. And the wound is worse than I thought. Too deep, too red. Stay with me, I whisper, pressing my hands to the bleeding, panic surging through me like wildfire. You're okay. You're going to be okay. She laughs. It's a broken sound. You always say that. Because I mean it. Her fingers tighten on mine for a second, just long enough for her body to spasm, and the pain magic slams into us again. Not punishment this time, just raw, unfiltered pain echoing through our link. I jerk back, panting. She slumps again, barely conscious. The resistance, fighter groans from behind me. I should finish him. I want to. But she's bleeding out in my arms. And I'd choose her every time. I press harder against the wound, my hands slick with her blood, my power thrumming beneath my skin like it wants out. But I can't lose control again, not now, not with her like this. Stay with me, Lurel, I whisper, forcing my voice to stay steady. Her eyelids flutter. She's pale, too pale. I glance back. The resistance fighter is trying to crawl away, half-burned, dragging himself through the dirt like a roach that won't die. I call upon my air power and let out enough of a burst to send him flying high enough. Good, he should be dead now. Even though my fire and anger simmer at the edge, I shove it down trying to focus on her. Lurel first. Always her first. We need something. Cloth, bandages, anything, I mutter, tearing the sleeve off my tunic and pressing it hard against her side. You're going to make it. You hear me. I hate when you lie. She breathes, barely a whisper. I huff a laugh, even as fear claws its way up my throat, then live long enough to yell at me for it. She doesn't answer. Her breathing is shallow now, lips tinged with blue. I need help. Magic. Something to stop the bleeding before. A faint rustle. I whip my head around, fire flaring in my palm, ready to incinerate anything that moves. But it's not another enemy. It's someone else. A figure steps into the clearing, hooded, tall, moving with that eerie stillness that only comes from those who have seen too much. Their cloak is stitched with silver thread, glinting faintly under the stars. Not under coven, not a competitor either. They lift their hands, palms open. I can help her, the figure says. I narrow my eyes. Who are you? I keep my hand on the hilt of my knife, drawing it as I point it in the figure's direction. No time. You want her to live or not? I don't answer. Instead, I move in front of Luril's body, protecting her from whatever this person might try. Cale knocks. It hisses. If you want her to live, then move. I hesitate only a second before nodding. You try anything, and I'll turn you to ash. They kneel beside her, placing their hands gently over mine, over the wound. A soft hum vibrates through the air, a pulse of magic, cool and white and clean. It sinks into her, wrapping around the injury like water around flame. Luril gasps, her back arching. Then she collapses again, limp, but breathing easier. The bleeding stops. I stare at the figure. You healed her. Stopped the worst of it. She needs rest. Time, you both do. Who are you? I ask again, quieter this time. They stand slowly, Hood still casting their face in shadow. Someone who doesn't want the gate to open. My blood chills. Consider this my favor to you. In exchange, don't let the gate open, Prince. They turn to go, already disappearing into the darkness. You've seen what's coming, Cale. You know, and if you keep losing control, she won't be the last one you hurt. Then they vanish into the trees, like they were never there. I look down at Luril, still breathing, still alive. You know, I really am trying to make this easy for you, Vise. I circle him, my steps light, avoiding the thorns he shoots from the earth, but I can feel it now. His rage is building. His strikes are more frenzied, and I'm starting to have to work harder to dodge them. But that's fine. It's what I do best. You think this is easy? You're playing with fire, Lucian. Vise sneers, his breath coming faster. The ground beneath us is beginning to twist and warp, thorns rising like they have a mind of their own. I can see the pressure mounting in him, the kind of power that comes from desperation. I don't play Vise. I'm winning. His eyes flash with fury. He raises both hands, and the ground shakes beneath us, sending a ripple through the air. A massive vine shoots from the earth, thick and gnarled, aiming to ensnare me. I don't wait to see if it's going to reach me. I snap my fingers, the air around me shifting, and a gust of wind bursts forth, blasting the vine back into the soil with enough force to crack the earth. Vise growls in frustration, his body trembling with the effort of maintaining control over the power he's desperately trying to unleash. I can feel the shift in the atmosphere, the pressure, the weight of his magic building. But that's just it. He's pushing too hard, and I'm not. I take a step forward, feeling the storm in my chest start to rise, the crackling energy building in my veins. I bring my hands together, and the wind around me swirls faster and faster, becoming a violent whirlwind. The sky darkens above us, clouds beginning to twist and churn, the storm responding to my will. Vise freezes for a split second, his eyes widening as the air changes, the temperature plummeting, the wind howling louder. His thorns falter as the rain begins to fall, cold and heavy. I take advantage of that hesitation. With a single flick of my wrist, the wind whips violently, sending his thorns crashing into each other like they're being torn apart by unseen hands. The thunder rumbles above us, and I can feel it, the crackling energy of the storm responding to my call. I push it all forward, directing it with precision, letting the sky itself come alive at my command. Vise raises his arms, trying to push the power back, but it's too late. The storm, my storm, has already taken control. I whip my hand through the air, and with a final push, a gust so powerful it knocks him off his feet slams him back, sending him crashing into the thorns he summoned. The shockwave of energy that follows is enough to leave him stunned, vulnerable. And that's it. I see the moment in his eyes, the defeat, the understanding that he's lost. I raise my hand, the storm around us shifting to a sharp focus. One final strike, a gust of wind that's far more than just air, it's pressure, it's force, and it tears through Vi's last defense. His body goes limp. Blood splatters everywhere. I stand there for a moment, letting the storm die down, the rain easing to a mist. The crackling energy in the air slowly fades, and the world seems to settle back into a heavy silence. Vise is on the ground, motionless. I step forward, breathing evenly, my heart still pounding with the rush of power. I look down at him, and a part of me feels nothing but the satisfaction of a job well done. But I can't help the sliver of guilt that seeps through the cracks. None of these people deserve deaths as brutal as this, despite being assholes. A sudden shift in the sky catches my attention. My eyes snap upward, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. The clouds move, rearranging, forming words. It starts to glow. The wind stills, the rain gone, as the words are scrawled across the sky in jagged, dark letters. Find the path where the shadows meet, where thorns and light will clash and greet. The forest calls, the trials await. Only the worthy shall decide their fate. The words linger in the sky for a moment longer before they start to fade, the last letter dissolving into mist as if it was never there. I stand frozen, trying to process the riddle that's just been laid before me. The words pulse in my mind, clear as day. The forest, of course. It has to be the deep part of the forest, the one where the competitors were sent. But what does it mean, thorns and light will clash and greet? It's cryptic, but there's no mistaking the urgency in the words. The forest, the trials, thorns, and light. It all leads to one thing, the others, the other competitors. They're going to meet up there, and when they do, it's not going to be for tea and biscuits. I glance back at Vi's still form, and for a second I almost feel something. Maybe pity, maybe just the aftertaste of the fight, but it's fleeting. He knew what he was getting into. They all do. But the riddle, The trial. It's going to be a mess, and I'll be right in the middle of it. With a half smirk, I push my hair out of my face and turn, walking toward the dense part of the forest. I have to be the first to figure this out to stay ahead. The others might be coming, but I'm always one step ahead. Well, this is going to be fun, I mutter to myself, my hands already summoning the breeze around me to move faster. I can't let the others catch up. Any tips? She scoffs in my head. Don't die. Because that's just so easy, isn't it? I thought you loved a little challenge. Ice Prince. I smirk, the wind curling tighter around me like it knows what's coming. I do, I mutter, my voice low as I break into a run, boots barely touching the ground as the forest waits for me ahead. Trees blur past, branches whipping out like claws, but I move between them with practiced ease. The breeze whispers warnings through the leaves, and I listen, always listen. The deep forest is colder, quieter. It doesn't welcome you, it studies you. And right now, I can feel eyes. Not just the trees, not just that message still echoing in my skull like a prophecy with teeth. Something or someone is ahead. I slow my pace near a split in the trail, the wind still dancing at my heels like it's waiting for a command. The path to the left coils in shadow, almost unnaturally dark. The one on the right is brighter, but that light feels wrong, artificial, staged. Thorns and light will clash and greet. Yeah, that line was a warning. I crouch, press my hand to the dirt. It's faint, but I can feel the residual pull of magic along the right path. Earth magic. Someone's been through here recently. Someone from Vi's team. I scour my mental archives for all the competitors until it lands on the brown, curly-haired girl. Jeline. The only competitor that wields earth magic apart from my brother. I glance to the left. No trace. But the darkness there calls to something colder in me. The part that doesn't trust things that shine too easily. You're not going to make this easy, are you? I whisper to no one in particular, and maybe to her. She's watching. I know it. The voice in my head is too smug for its own good, but it's always there when I need it most. Maybe a curse, maybe a blessing, maybe something I should worry about later. My fingers flick, a shard of ice forming against my palm like a dagger. I stare down both paths again. Then I choose the shadows. The second I step into the dark, the air shifts. The trees close in tighter. My breath curls in front of me, visible now, like the cold's decided I'm part of it. I feel stronger here, focused. I let the wind rise again, softly, silently, scouting ahead for me. The temperature dips further, and I let a sheath of frost creep along my arms, settling into my skin like armor. A rustle to my left. I turn fast. Too slow. A blade whistles through the air. I barely duck it, the steel singing past my cheek, drawing blood. Damn it, I hiss, leaping back, ice forming instantly in my hand. Someone drops from the trees in front of me, masked, hooded, the insignia of another faction barely visible in the gloom. Didn't think I'd catch the infamous Ice Prince so off guard, the figure taunts. It's Jeline. I can tell by the cockiness that almost matches mine in her voice and what I've learned is her high ego, probably by hanging around Isolde. I throw the ice dagger with one hand, whip a gust of air with the other. She twists to dodge one, but not both. The wind slams into her, knocking her off her feet, and I'm already moving, already forming the next strike. A blade of ice, long and curved like a crescent moon, hums in my hand. Jeline recovers faster than I expect, flipping back to her feet. I see the glint of something sharp in her palm, but I don't wait to see what she's planning. One clean motion, I close the distance, sweeping low with wind-enhanced speed, the ice slicing for her leg. It hits the target and she groans in agony as she falls to the floor. Her hand slams into the ground, and I feel it before I see it, an eruption of roots and stone bursting up like a trap. I leap backward, but a vine snaps around my ankle midair, yanking me down hard. The wind knocks out of me as I slam into the dirt. Jeline snarls, dragging herself up, one leg dragging. Blood is already soaking into her pants, but the fire in her eyes burns hot. You think you've already won? She spits, hobbling toward me with something jagged and glinting in her grip. Not yet, I rasp, hand clenching. The vine around my ankle freezes in an instant, brittle and cracking under pressure. I twist hard, snapping it off, and roll to my knees. Jeline throws her knife. I duck. It clips my shoulder, but I'm up barely, and I don't waste the moment. I summon the air into a blast that sends her staggering again. She's fast, but I'm faster. I'm wind. I'm ice. And she doesn't know the storm like I do. I reach her in a blink, pressing the edge of the crescent blade to her throat. She freezes, chest heaving, sweat and blood streaking her face. Careful, I breathe, voice like winter. We both know how quickly I could end this. I stalk toward her, ice still humming in my hand, the blade elongated and sharp, a reflection of the adrenaline still thrumming in my chest. One clean strike. That's all it would take. She's vulnerable, bleeding, barely able to stand. She knows it too. Her gaze locks with mine, jaw set. Do it, she spits, breathless. Go ahead, prove everyone right. The wind around me stills. Prove everyone right. My grip on the blade tightens. Every instinct screams to finish it. This is the competition. It's life or death, and she's not just an enemy, she attacked me. But something in her voice, something in the way she doesn't beg, doesn't plead, just dares, makes the ice in me hesitate. I glance down at her leg. She's not walking out of here anytime soon. And even if she somehow does, she won't be a threat. Not like this. I shift the blade in my hand, angling it down, then let it go. It shatters against the ground in a burst of frost. Jeline flinches. Her eyes widen, confused. What? I crouch beside her, not close enough for her to strike, but enough that she hears every word. This isn't mercy, I say coldly. It's strategy. You don't get to die here. Not when you owe me now. Her breath catches, her pride clearly burning hotter than the pain in her leg. You think I'll. No, I say, standing again. But one day you'll remember it. And that might matter, unless you die in the fight ahead. I crouch down, gripping her wrist tightly, and lift the sleeve. You're on my team. I can't kill you even if I want to. Just do me a favor and don't die. I'd hate for my one favor to be gone so soon." She opens her mouth like she's going to throw something venomous back, but it never comes. Her hands tighten into fists instead. "I'll regret this," I mutter mostly to myself, then step back. The wind picks up around me again, swirling like it's been waiting for me to stop pretending I'm something I'm not. I turn, boots crunching on frost-laced leaves, and disappear into the trees without another word. The voice in my head sighs dramatically. That was surprisingly noble. For you. Shut up. You liked her. Just a little, admit it. I like knives in my shoulder even less. I say out loud. I press a hand to the shallow wound and wince. Not fatal, not important. What is important is what's ahead. I'd be careful, Ice Prince. You are not meant to be going soft. She has changed you. I wince not from the pain but from the mention of her. And the worst part? She's not even wrong. I've never hated fail. But I certainly have never had these kinds of feelings for one before. She has changed me. She is your enemy. Now focus on what's important. The trials, the riddle, the clash of thorns and light. Right, that's what's important right now. And the fact that I just left someone alive who could stab me in the back later. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this isn't about who's willing to kill. Maybe it's about who still knows when not to. The forest thickens, the path narrows, and somewhere ahead the others are moving. I let the cold sink back into my bones. I let the wind show me the way. And I don't look back. All of us may just be damned. Illyra stands beside me on my right, Isolde on the other side as we glare at the people that start to move towards the center. The other team. More blues start to fill the space and my eyes betray me when I start to look for a pair of aqua eyes and dark hair. He's not here. Not right now. We're going to lose, you know that, right? Isolde says. And why do you say that? Because they've got all three princes. I glance at her, her lips twisting in a slight grimace. Isolde's never been one for false optimism, but I can hear the doubt in her voice. She's right to feel it. The princes, they're not just strong. They're beyond strong. Their power runs deep, through their bloodline, through their very beings. To go up against all three of them, that's insanity. I've felt the power from one and it's already destroyed me. I tighten my grip on the hilt of my blade, feeling the familiar weight in my hand. The warmth of it, the steadiness. We're not done yet, I say, trying to shake the lingering doubt that threatens to cloud my mind. We've still got a chance. Illyra doesn't speak, but she shifts beside me, her stance widening, her own weapon at the ready. My gaze moves across the sea of faces, the sea of enemies, before landing on him. Lucian. For a second, the world fades away until it's just me and him staring right back at each other. His shock mirrors my own, and even though we haven't spoken since that day, there is so much I want to say. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I chose him. Because I made a mistake. I made a mistake by choosing someone whose hands are stained with innocent blood. I made a mistake by choosing someone whose brutality has no end. I made a mistake by choosing someone I thought I could love only to be stabbed in the back. You ready to die? Varian points his sword out towards us, a cocky grin plastered across his face. Blood stains his clothes and I don't see any injuries on him. Shit, he's completely unscathed. I force my eyes back to Varian, the arrogant grin on his face a slap in the face. His words are nothing more than hollow noise, and yet they sting. I'm not the one who's dying today, I shout back, my voice steady, even though my heart's racing. Beside me, Alira cracks her neck and shifts her stance again, her eyes never leaving the enemy. Isolde looks at me, her expression unreadable, but there's a sharpness there, a readiness that matches my own. Let's get this over with, then, she mutters, a hint of bitterness creeping into her tone. You piece of shit. You dare betray your own team. For what? Her? A girl. A girl who's had it out for Alira since the first trial shouts back at her. Arona. Alira doesn't flinch, doesn't even blink. Her voice is calm, colder than ice. Better her than a backstabbing viper like you. Arona snarls, already pushing past the line of her own team, but a flare of light overhead stops her in her tracks. And all of us, too. A projection rips across the sky. Gold threads snake into a familiar sigil, ancient and glowing, spinning in place until it brands the clouds themselves with its presence. The seal of the Ascension trials. A low hum pulses through the arena, resonating in our bones, and I feel the ground tremble beneath my boots. It's time. A voice booms from nowhere and everywhere at once. Final round initiated. Then the clouds ripple again, and a second projection flickers to life, as if the sky itself is watching. A woman's voice this time, silky and venom-laced. Only one team will walk out alive. Let the blood decide. My breath catches. For a split second, silence falls. Absolute stillness, like the entire world is holding its breath. Then, a bell tolls, once, twice, 3 times. And chaos erupts. Arona screams as she charges, blade raised high. Alira meets her halfway, blades clashing with a brutal shriek of steel. I see Varian sprint forward, fast as a bullet, that sick grin still carved into his face. Isolde is already moving, darting into the fray with a snarl, her knives flashing in both hands. I don't wait, I can't. I surge forward, my blade catching the first strike from a boy I don't recognize and driving it down, shoving my elbow into his jaw before moving on. All around us, it's an explosion of motion. Steel slamming against steel, blood already painting the dirt. Screams and shouts, spells flickering across the air like lightning bolts. Across the field, I see Lucian, still not fighting, just standing there as if, watching, as if this isn't his war at all. Varian comes for me next, his blade arcing through the air with precision, strength, and a terrifying amount of grace. I barely parry the first hit before he's spinning again, aiming to slice straight across my ribs. Faster than last time, he huffs with a grin, but still not fast enough. Keep talking, I growl. It makes you easier to hit. We clash again, and this time I give him everything I've got. He stumbles for just half a second, just long enough for Alira to duck behind him and slash at his exposed back. He spins, furious, and she disappears into the chaos again like a wraith. Didn't come alone this time, huh? He sneers. I spit blood from my lip. No, this time I came to win. I meant what I said, that I came to win. But now I'm not so sure. Varian fights like he was born for war, and every time our blades meet, it rattles something loose in my ribs. My body's slick with sweat and blood, some of it mine, most of it probably mine. A deep gash splits open across my thigh and another across my shoulder, slowing me down. My vision blurs, black edging in. Across from me, Alira is down. On one knee, blood soaking her sleeve and pooling under her. Isolde's not far off, her side sliced open, one of her daggers snapped. She clutches it like she still means to fight. We're losing. And Varian knows it. You're slowing down, he pants, voice rich with satisfaction. Guess you're not as special as they thought. I swing again, but it's sluggish, weak. He knocks my blade from my hand and I stumble back, barely avoiding his next strike. I hit the ground hard, the breath knocked from my lungs. I roll as barely missing his sword as it hits the ground intended to kill. I lunge forward, blade flashing, ignoring the pain, and for a moment, just a moment, I see fear flicker in his eyes. He blocks me, but I twist, sliding my blade across his forearm. Blood spills hot and fast, and his sneer vanishes. You little. A burst of air explodes to my right, Alira, fighting like a fury, her blade glowing with burning runes that no one recognizes is from Urindrail. Isolde flips over an enemy, slicing their throat in one smooth, brutal move. Our side isn't winning, but we're not losing either. Not yet. Varian roars and charges again. I barely have time to brace. But then, the sky shatters. A crack like glass fracturing tears through the clouds above. The fighting halts, not all at once, but in stuttering, confused beats as heads tilt up. I stumble back, breathing hard, and look up. And my blood goes cold. A fissure of gold light rips down from the heavens, a jagged, burning wound in the sky. From it, a massive structure begins to descend, a glowing, spiraling gate forged of obsidian and flame. It turns slowly in the air, its center pulsing like a heartbeat, ember red and angry. The Ember Gate. I know it before it even fully appears. It's not just a gate, it's a judgment, a passage meant to test the soul, to tear away the mask and leave only truth behind. Only the marked may pass. And it's here. A low, deep sound rumbles across the battlefield. A voice, but not human, not even close. The Ember Gate has awakened. The blood of gods runs. One must answer. The gate crashes into the center of the arena with a thunderous shockwave that throws dirt and ash into the air. It stands there, imposing, unmovable. The temperature drops around us, even as fire licks its edges. Lucian lowers his blade, staring at it, his eyes slack with fear. No, this isn't supposed to happen yet. He knows. I'd hurry if I were you, Marker. All three of them know, and they will stop you. My mark pulses on my back like a second heartbeat, searing hot. The blood mark, it's awake. I stagger, clutching at my side as pain flares, sharp and alive, crawling down my spine in a rush of fire and ice. I drop to my knees, gasping, my sword slipping from my fingers, a loud scream tearing from my throat. Screams echo around me, others running, others still fighting, but I can barely hear them now. The mark burns and my vision doubles. The world tilts. Syerin. My name. Someone shouts my name. I look up. Through the smoke, through the madness, through fire and screams and broken bodies. Riven. He walks through the battlefield like a storm given form, slow and unstoppable, his eyes locked on me. His white shirt is torn, blood running down his shoulder, but he doesn't stop. Not even when someone tries to intercept him. One movement, just one, and that man drops lifeless. Everything fades around him. My heart lurches, because he's here. Because after everything, after all the betrayal, the lies, the war, he still came back. And he looks, wrecked. His eyes are wide, haunted. Like seeing me alive is the most painful thing in the world. I push myself up on shaking hands. The fire from the ember gate casts flickering light across his face as he gets closer, and I see everything written there. Pain, guilt, love, and a terrifying kind of relief. He reaches me. Cayde, he says, kneeling down as his fingers brush against my cheek. My eyes go wide when I see Varian charge towards Riven, and just as his sword is about to hit Riven, his body drops dead. A huge black shard is plunged through his chest. Riven. Darkness pours from his back and bodies drop dead. And before I know it, I'm staring at 3 of them. Cale, Lucian, and Riven, and they're standing right in front of the gate. Is that how it's going to be, huh? Riven doesn't look back, doesn't even blink. His eyes stay locked on mine as he whispers again, Cayde. And then I feel it. A cold wind slicing through heat. The mark sears down my back alive, awake, and my body arches with it, dragged upright by an unseen force. My hands shake violently. My vision goes red at the edges, and suddenly the battlefield vanishes. All of it. Gone. All I see now is her. A red glow slips from my fingers. Wisps of light like blood turn to flame. My hands rise on their own, trembling with a strange grace. One lifts to my face, fingers curling beneath my chin, so tender it feels like a caress. Another hand, glowing and not mine, slides up the length of my side, elegant, bone-thin, fingers brushing skin, collarbone, jaw. She tilts my head gently to the left, like I'm nothing more than a puppet she's dressing in divine rage. And then, she snaps my head. Not to break it, to awaken it. My spine arches, a guttural sound ripping from my throat, and my feet leave the ground. My hair whips around me as my eyes flare red, deep, ancient, blistering. The red aura floods over my body, wrapping me in threads of blood that shimmer like glass in firelight. Power writhes beneath my skin, too much power, too ancient to belong to anything mortal. The blood goddess has returned. But I don't say her name. Because I am her. And I stand, the goddess fully in control, my eyes glowing like twin stars set to burn the world clean. Let them come. Let the gods scream. Let the world end. Because tonight, the gate will open. Power. Power like nothing before courses through my veins. The brothers lash out, shards, blades, all the elements whirring around me, but it's still not enough. Not with her power. I raise my hand and the air stills. Blood answers me. The mark has spread beyond my spine now, webbing across my ribs, curling over my collarbone like a living flame. It pulses in time with my heartbeat, but slower, heavier. Divine. Riven charges first, reckless and furious. His sword slices through the haze, but I don't even flinch. A flick of my wrist and his blood halts. Mid-step, he stumbles, clutching his chest, his breathing ragged. Don't, I whisper, voice echoing with something no longer human. Don't make me hurt you. Syerin, Lucian shouts from behind him. This isn't you. That gate, whatever's on the other side, it's not worth this. I tilt my head. You're wrong. Lucian lunges for me. I sigh. His blood stops too. He falls to his knees, gasping, veins bulging as his power flickers violently beneath his skin. I walk past them, slow, deliberate toward the gate. The stone glows now, carved with ancient sigils that pulse in time with my mark. I can feel them, the souls trapped behind it, screaming, begging to be freed. The god within me isn't separate anymore. I am the god now. You'll tear the world apart. Riven growls behind me, his voice strangled but full of fury. You'll destroy yourself. I turn just for a second. His eyes, red, fractured with gold, are bloodshot, desperate. Lucian is trying to rise, but I've locked his blood just enough to keep him grounded. I was destroyed, I say quietly, when they marked me, when they threw me into this war, when I was forced to become a weapon instead of a girl. Lightning crackles, ether surges, and something snaps in the chamber. Riven breaks the blood hold. His power erupts, fire and darkness swirling together like a black sun. His body convulses. I step back not in fear but awe as his back arches, his spine fracturing with a sickening crack. Wings, real wings, burst from his shoulders, soaked in shadow and flame. Riven's entire form becomes amplified and he's made of shadows. He's transformed. Lucian screams behind me. I spin just as light bursts from his skin, pure, white, searing. He levitates for a moment, his arms shaking as symbols crawl up his throat and crown his brow. The princes aren't just princes anymore. They're becoming what they were always meant to be. My equals, my end, my beginning. Stop me, I whisper, and you kill them all. Let me do this, and you save them. The gate groans as I press my palm to it. Stone burns beneath my touch, veins of crimson light spidering outward. Lucian limps forward. Syerin, don't do this alone. You don't have to become the monster they made you. I'm not the monster, I say. I'm the reckoning. Behind me, the gate starts to open. Wind howls. Magic ruptures the air, thick with ash and screaming. Souls pour like mist through the cracks. Not just the broken ones, but the gods, the forgotten, the ones who were chained when the world decided it feared blood too much to let it live. They come for me, all of them, and I welcome them home. But just as the gate shudders wider, just as the souls shriek louder, the power spiraling into a crescendo that could split the sky. Riven's voice booms behind me. Syerin. The ancient name, her name, rips through the chamber like thunder. The language of the origin lords. A tongue no mortal has spoken in centuries, carved from the bones of creation itself. My hand falters on the gate. No, her hand. A silence falls. Heavy, cracking, I freeze. No one is supposed to know that name. Not anymore. Not after all this time. Not after I buried it beneath blood and ash. I turn slowly, and there he stands, not Riven, not the broken prince, but the god he was. Shadow incarnate. Wings stretched wide, smoke curling from his fingertips like death whispering through bone. And his eyes, dark and ancient, not red, not gold, but something older. Something that remembers me. You, I breathe. My voice cracks just barely. But the human inside me flinches. Because she knows him. Because we both love him. Syerin, he says again, gentler now. Regret etched into every syllable. My blood, my fury, my mate. The word hits me like a blade. No, I hiss. You don't get to call me that. You left. You sealed me behind that gate with the others. You chose them, chose to trap us. I chose to protect the world, he says, stepping closer. His voice is low, reverent, and I have never forgiven myself for it. My throat tightens. The little human snarls inside me, clawing at my ribs to open the gate. But something softens in her rage. Something cracks. Because I know she, too, misses what she once had with the blood heir. What they had before he betrayed her. You loved me once, he whispers. Before the war. Before the blood. When we were gods, not weapons. Before I was forced to turn against you. I clench my fists. You betrayed me. I saved you. His voice trembles, and in doing so, I lost you. The gate groans behind me, still poolsing, still open. Souls swirl around my legs like mist, pleading, calling. But his words, God's his words. You're breaking her, I choke. My voice is not mine. It's the human's and mine. Two lives tangled in one body. Two hearts beating out of sync. I know. His eyes shine now, the ancient god and the prince flickering together. And I'm sorry. For every year I left you alone in the dark. For every scream I ignored. For every drop of blood you had to spill without me. My knees wobble. I can feel the goddess inside me, her fury folding, her grief surfacing like oil from the depths. Her power flickers. I feel her pain like it's my own. Because it is. Come back to me, the god of death says softly, stepping so close I could touch him. We can close the gate. We can start again. Syerin, you are more than this. My eyes burn. The gate pulses. Oh, she hesitates. And that's when I do it. I shove her forward. I dig my heels into the cracked floor and scream through gritted teeth. Open it. She roars. The gate explodes with light. Souls rip free, fire and blood and gods screaming as the seal breaks at last. Chains snap across realms. The fabric of the world shatters. Wind howls, magic weeps. And the last thing I see before the light swallows me whole is Riven falling to his knees, his wings shielding Lucian and Kale, his voice lost in the storm, screaming my name in a language older than time. When the dust settles, the gate stands open. It's empty, silent, and I am gone. Not dead, not alive, transcended. A whisper rides the wind. A name. Syerin. And far beneath the stars, in a realm that no longer cages gods, the blood goddess watches, free at last, and not alone.